Where's the love? Where's the love? It's right here in the heart of the city. I'm Silas Grant. Got my man with me, OTL, man. What's up?
What's up, Joe? What's happening?
I'm good, man.
All right.
I'm good. I can't complain.
Oh, man, you on bare face again on these people.
Yeah. Just trying to regain the youth a little bit. You know?
See what's happening.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, you about to go on your press tour. You know, your run.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, big things popping, home.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, man.
Proud of you, man.
My book came out October 6th, showing up.
Yeah.
5 principles that saved my life. And it's been a long time coming. I've been talking to you about it for a while. And the feedback has been good, man. Yeah. I want it to really serve as a performance improvement tool for people and for groups, right? So, pushing that sort of theme around it. And again, the people have been supporting it, man. And, I got this cover with the airplane on it, which is really symbolic of not only how we should show up, but also building that runway.
Yeah, man.
A lot of times you can't wake up today and say, I want to do something tomorrow, right? There's got to be a runway to it. So I talk a lot about that in the book, my own personal journey to mental and physical wellness. And I share a lot of stories about that. So silasgrant.org is where you can get it.
Yeah, man.
So folks have been buying it. They've been posting it. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, and as more and more people get into it, it's just the beginning, bro.
Yeah.
It's just the beginning, man, because, not just what you put in the pages, but, what people glean from you daily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's going to, take you to heights, man, that you ain't even imagining yet, bro. So,
I'm thankful, man, because one thing I thought about, too, people bought the book and didn't even know what it was about. Yeah, so I appreciate that, right? People just know, like, okay, it got to be something. That's kind of
what I'm saying. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And they've been inspired already before even, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Reading the book, man, I mean, it's a multitude. But, I mean, I think it's amazing how many times people talk to me about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, man, I be seeing your man, Slim, or, man, shit, I be seeing your man walking, man, I maybe want to go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or either the opposite of whether it's a group that they were in that you spoke before, or, you know what I'm saying? Or their kid was in a group that you did, or,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, fam, you know what it is with us, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, dog.
It's been a good week, man. Book came out. Hampton homecoming coming up.
Yeah. It's your time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, old Cowboys, man.
I wasn't gonna go there.
I'm gonna beat you to that. You know,
I wasn't gonna go there.
I bet your week is.
Yeah. Hey, look, right. I walked in here, right. I seen Marcus' face. I wasn't even gonna say nothing, man.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's Cowboy fans in the room too. But I ain't gonna, I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that shit there, man. But. Yeah, man, I know Hampton homecoming coming up.
Yeah.
Howard homecoming also is this week, man. Yeah. And before we, get into interview with our illustrious guest, I'm super excited about our guest today. Yeah. I just want to say shout out to all us. We here in DC. The bedrock of our economy, our community is the federal government. So shout out to everybody going through the shutdown. Yeah. We coming around this week would be, include myself, you know what I'm saying, where it's a pay period where we not getting paid. Like 2 weeks ago, we got like a partial check, but like people aren't getting paid. And I don't care how much, what your grade is, how much money you make. People's lifestyles are based on how, like, that paycheck coming in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, for everybody out there, to your family members that, that may work for the federal government or whatever, and in so many families, that's the person with the most solid foundation. But if you can be helpful to that person or that family member or friend in this time, just think about them in that way, man. People literally are not getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we use this term a lot. We hear people say folks living paycheck to paycheck, no matter where you work, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's a lot of people that really are, like, literally living paycheck to paycheck, and the thought that people are not getting a paycheck, or even for worse than that, folks that already been laid off, since January. A ton of people that lost their jobs, you know what I'm saying, and working in workforce development. DC already had one of the most competitive job markets in the country. That job market has become even that much more competitive with the influx of so many federal workers and contractors that had lost their job already. And now folks are shut down on top of that. So,
and then some folks are being forced to go to work and not getting paid. Yeah.
I work every day.
Yeah.
Which has just a different feel to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I go to work every day. You know what I mean? But on that same note, it's some people that are furloughed and not necessarily don't know that whenever the shutdown ends, that they don't know if they'll get paid or if they will be fired. So I ain't even complaining about that, but that too. It's just a lot on people's plate. So just shout out to, all the people. We gonna get through this, you know what I'm saying? So
that's it.
Yeah.
So today is really different for me because I read a book a week.
Yeah.
Right. So that's been my commitment the last 2 years. And this is the first time I think on this show we've interviewed authors, but like where I had not, in those situations, I hadn't read the book when we interviewed them. Yeah. So I've already read this book from this guest. So I'm really excited because I'm a book fanatic. So I love jumping into questions about that. So I'm excited about today, man. We are joined by a very, very special guest. As you mentioned, an illustrious guest, a cultural icon here in this area, man. Someone who has blazed a trail that so many people have followed, a leader in a number of different industries. And we are blessed to have with us, man, the one and only Curtis Malone.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
What's up?
Thanks for having me, man. I really, truly appreciate it. And the same way you guys feel about me, I really appreciate you young brothers, man, because you all, I'm so proud every time I see you all and what you all are doing and what you stand for is I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
Man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for making time to stop by, kick it with us for a minute.
Yeah.
It means a lot to us, you know what I'm saying? Si, I really appreciate, what you just said, right? The opener, right? And one of the things that I recognize and we try to do on this show, whether it's people that we know personally or not, is like really talk about people in their fullness and that their impacts, though a person may be from here, right? But their impacts have been, national, international. Yeah. And, one of the things I shared with you earlier is like, good, bad, or indifferent. You've helped establish pieces of basketball culture as we know it in this country.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like your from what you did with DC Assault, the growth of, look at AAU, it's 2025. Look at AAU today versus what year did you launch? Did y'all launch DC?
93.
So okay, so right in 93 to now, 32 years, right? Look at the growth. Look at the money. Look at the exposure. Look at the way things are done. So many people have mirrored like what you and your team did, right? Not just, it's bigger than just the players that were spawned through your program, but like how you guys did business, right? So can you? I mean, I don't even know where to start in this interview really, but the first question that I would ask, when we know kind of in a way of like why you got involved in helping players and working with DC Assault and this and that and the third though, but like what point did you realize, when did it hit you that this is I can do things differently than what it had been done up until that point? And I want to start there.
I think when I really decided to make a difference, I believe, man, in the early 90s, because I had influence in the streets, not only just basketball. So I was always the guy to help all the kids, the kids who couldn't afford cleats, the kids whose parents couldn't afford for them to play football, to play basketball. So I started doing it, and I realized I'm good at this. You know what I mean? And so from there, we built that basketball organization, man, and it skyrocketed. But my early 90s, but I was raised that way, to give, to help. my family, my community, we all were close knit, so I never looked down on people. I always wanted to give what others didn't have if I had it.
And in 93, how old were you?
Shit, damn, Tony.
I ain't trying to date you, but I got
25.
Are you 25 years old, right? With them young dudes, whether they 12, 13, 15, whatever. Mm-hmm. You still ain't that far removed, right? You a big homie already, right? And I'm asking this because I can, in terms of my what I identify with in terms of when I first started working in the community, part of it was my relatability, my connectivity to the young people. And I ain't know nothing about no basketball, coach, no basketball, none of that shit. I was Silas coach ever in history. But the youngers have played their heart out for me.
That's right. That's right.
Right? They go to the
That's right.
We had no plays or nothing.
That's right.
Just go play.
That's right.
But my question is, things you were doing prior to that, and like you just said, it played a role in your love of the youngins, your connectivity to the youngins. But were there other yous, and I use meaning I'm talking about like the other coaches, the other leaders of these organizations? Did they meet your profile? Were they 25-year-old street guys, or who were they? Or were they like, people that taught school or
coach with the belt right here?
The coach, right.
Most of them was a little older.
Okay.
Even some of the guys who were running things back then, I had even put their uniforms on when I was young, playing uptown. Mr. Bates and Fluff Parker. Mm-hmm. So they were really older guys. So again, I used that as my tool, to recruit kids and build those powerhouse teams. But no matter how bad a coach you are, you got to have some talent now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to have talent,
Yeah, sure.
So I'm going to jump right into the book because, first of all, this is an incredible book.
Thank you.
I mean that. There's some books that are well written, and there's some books that have a good story, and they don't always match, right? But it's a good story, and it's well written. And one thing I noticed in this book, it's called Duplicity. Y'all need to go get this and read this, really. I noticed, because this podcast is really about leadership.
Yes.
So we want to really talk to leaders. And what I noticed in the book is that whether it was in the streets or in the basketball realm, you know how to handle and deal with a lot of personalities.
Yes.
I mean, wild cards, people that you can't trust, people that are erratic, and you have a way of getting them back in order and keeping the train going. Talk about how you develop that skill.
I believe that the way I came up and the guys that I looked up to, and for the most part, street guys, they had all the charisma, character, and everything I did, I wanted to be, just like these guys. They got the attention of everybody. They took care of everybody, whether you were a crackhead, a dope fiend. They didn't look at people, and they never looked down on people. So I think it's my upbringing and the people that raised me. My cousin used to have a saying. He used to tell my wife, man, he was raised by goons. The dude is different. You know what I mean? So for me, it was everything about character. And when you have good character, man, I think people they'll run through the wall for you, like you said about the kids, man, because character is everything. So I built that early on, man, with just the OGs that raised me.
Yeah. Can you unpack that a bit, though, for people who may not understand? 'Cause some people, I've often described some of my upbringing in a similar way, right? But I think people struggle with the fact that if people consider folks to be living an amoral lifestyle, how could those people teach you character or things that we consider moral? How could those people that do bad things have the sort of that duplicity where they right, pun intended, where they can also instill these qualities and these values and these principles?
Well, I really, again, I don't, because you do bad doesn't mean you don't have those qualities to help instill or guide someone. for the most part, like I said, those guys who were doing bad, and when I realized the bad they were doing, as you read in the book, they wouldn't allow me to do anything wrong, and if I did, they're going to put their foot in my ass. So, you know, again, they did do bad things, but at the end of the day, nobody could say, I've never heard a lot of bad words about none of the guys that I mentioned and talk about in my book that helped raise me. Besides, you know, my father, great person. Now, he instilled that side of me too, you know, from being a good dad, a good, you know, weren't money, no money. I mean, working family, middle class, but my dad was going to do it all the right way. I was going to do it the wrong way because the wrong way looked right.
Right.
You know, coming home every day and with a paycheck, and I can't get those $80, $90 shoes. It was hard, you know. But again, I think it was instilled in me, and that's the leadership role too.
That's right.
One of the things you did in the book in terms of setting up, I guess, the story for who you are, you described Palmer Park out in Maryland in a way that I'm younger than you, so I always looked at that area like taking off in the 80s. But you describe it like in the early 70s, how it was, right?
Yeah.
In a way that, again, I wasn't really totally aware of it, right? Just how live it was and just how much of a scene there was out there. Talk about those early years, because you came from uptown and you moved out there, and I would imagine you probably didn't expect it to be that way when you got there.
No, not at all. It's Maryland.
Right.
You don't want to go to Maryland. Why are we moving out there? But when we got there, everybody from the neighborhood is from in town. So it really wasn't a Maryland neighborhood.
Gotcha.
They used to call us Ward 9, I think.
But then, and especially, so for our generation, right?
Yeah.
It was people that had already there. For his generation, they had just got there.
We just got
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They had just moved there.
Buying a home, getting out of the city, get
Fresh.
some grass.
Yeah, fresh
Got
though.
a
Yeah.
yard in their backyard, you know, house you can throw a quarter through.
Yeah.
And we thought we lived in a pretty decent house, moving from apartment, you know, 4 kids uptown in a 1 bedroom. So, I mean, it was nonstop an experience every day growing up, but we stuck together, and it was tight knit. It didn't matter where you went, who came out there. We stuck together as a community.
Yeah, but that's the things that predated. I mean, to your point, so I shared in that same sentiment though. Like that just may occur to me like just now, right? Damn, right. It was fresh. It was all the people we hear about that had the job in DC, the very established in the middle class that moved out there. That's for his generation. That's them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would imagine that's a bit. By the time we come along, people are a little more settled.
Yeah.
You know,
Because I mean, the way you write it, it's almost the best word to describe it. It was electric.
Yeah.
It was electric out there.
It really was. I mean, it was different. I mean, if you didn't see it, it would be hard, and you read, so you kind of visualize it.
Right, yeah,
right?
no, it's vivid. Yeah,
but it was, I mean, we were good in a lot of things, but we were also a bad neighborhood too. Right, we weren't the average Maryland neighborhood, you know. So it was different. I mean, we had Landover Mall right there by us. I mean, that was one of the best malls in the state of Maryland at one time. You know, so we can go get dressed, get slick. You know, we got boxers, we got fighters, we got the go-go. The Club LeBurn is in Palmer Park. We got the Club LeBurn with Essence and them every weekend. So we had the best of both worlds. Everything was there.
Yeah. And you grew up playing basketball yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried.
You tried.
Yeah, I tried.
I seen a little footage of you.
I tried a little
footage.
I tried a little bit.
Now, Tony asked you earlier about your profile being different than the average coach, right? You got your start at Columbia Park?
Yeah, well, my first job. My first job was at Palmer Park.
Okay.
Rec,
yeah.
And he fired me.
That's right.
Mr. Barksdale fired me. So I went over to Columbia Park, and Mr. Mackins, Troy let me coach a team, and Mr. Mackins, which was a great kid. That's Stanley Hodge grandfather.
Okay.
Great, one of the greatest, best people ever in my life. But he gave me my first chance to coach.
So along those lines, right, you don't fit the bill of the average coach that's got the nylon pants all the way up to the chest, right? The older guys, right? They drive the station wagon. You don't fit that profile. You walk in the door, you take over that job at Columbia Park. Are you already envisioning what DC Assault could be, or at least envisioning what you could have as far as an impact on coaching at that time?
No, actually, I didn't. I just wanted to give back.
Gotcha.
I wanted to just help the kids, and I'm already up to it. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, this time I want these kids to not do exactly what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So from there, but I was giving out NIL deals already.
How about that? How about that?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was already making sure my kids were taken care of, and you know, we were going to have the best programming team.
Yeah. And I mean, along those lines, right? I mean, the obvious thing here with the book Duplicity, you talk about, you know, your double life, being in the streets and also coaching. At that time, you were in the streets, you were doing your thing, but also, you know, again, with the athletic component, I would imagine like the charisma, the swag that comes along with being in the streets also probably would have given you an advantage when it came to recruiting kids too.
Yeah. It definitely had its advantages.
Right.
You know what I mean? Again, a lot of parents just didn't have it to do it. And it cost a lot of money to play at a high level of AAU, cheerleading, whatever they doing. Yeah, it costs a lot of money. And, you know, parents just can't fly their kid and their other two siblings to Vegas to stay for a week. And, you know, so I had to make sure that, you know, with that other side, if need be, I got to make sure my parents are taken care of. I'm not going to take their son and they can't go. Yeah. So, you know, as much as I didn't, you know, and throughout it all, I wasn't doing that too. You know, it was something I jumped back in. But, you know, it definitely helped me tremendously, you know, with travel and making sure the kids are straight, making sure I can pay for tutoring. If I got to pay for summer school, I'm able to do whatever I need to do.
Yeah, because, I mean, a person on the, again, this ain't even about like some excuses or justification, but the reality of it is, especially when you dealing with kids that's coming from the circumstances that a lot of the kids that you work with come from, you know, maybe a little bit above that, at the poverty line, a little bit above that poverty line, you know what I mean? No room for no access anything, right? That these were the steps that you had to take. But at what point did you get to a point where you felt like, all right, cool, I ain't gotta, there's other revenue streams and other things that we're doing with the team that now I don't have to do that no more. That I can supplement that in other ways or get other, you know, partners to help with what we're doing at DC. So.
Well, I believe in around 99, 2000, my end goal was to get into sports management because I just felt like, why should I do all the work and then the guy come in with the suit on who ain't never been in a kid life reap all the benefits.
Yeah.
And the families are happy to say, oh, we dealing with him after you done did all the work. So I said to myself,
and he don't really care about it. He damn sure don't care about the kid.
No, not when it's all said and done, when the kid don't make it. I mean, I'll bet, you know, it's kids that didn't ride with me on the agent side and they went with other guys, but I'll bet any amount of money, most of those guys who didn't make it, I bet they don't even talk to that agent no more.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, for me, that was the end goal. So in 2000s, that's when I really felt like I got something special here that I can build and get into the sports agency world.
Did you always feel like the basketball player in this area? Now I meant to kind of ask this question prior to the one I just asked, but playing basketball yourself, growing up here, you know, whether it's going to Urban Collision or, you know what I'm saying, any of that, you know, did you always recognize that the basketball players in this area coming from out there where Len Bias come from and all that, did you always recognize how special the basketball players were in this area?
Yes. This our town is by far one of the best for any talent to come out of. Like that in the water thing about PG County, they could have probably did 3 series on that because a lot of people were left out that were really, really good and really was pioneers of it. You know what I mean? But this town has always been special when it comes to athletes, period.
Right.
So, of course, when I got into it, I seen like some of the best. So that gave me even more motivation to now maybe I could find some of those type of guys and change some lives.
I want to go back for a minute, and I want to have a brief, I guess, sub-convo about Ken Freeman.
Okay.
I found him to be one of the more interesting characters in the book. So I want you to first describe him for the audience and the impact he had on you.
Mr. Freeman was, he was a tough black guy who all he wanted to do is see his black kids succeed. He came up in a time where everything was against black people. He became an educator. So, you know, right away, he wanted to help change kids' lives. Now, if you're a jerk, he gonna treat you like a jerk. You know, if you do the right thing and you want to be good at something, he's gonna mentor and be good at it. But he was a special man, and we hit it off right away from my first day going to Parkdale High School. And I was doing the wrong things in class. So, you know, he seen me play and he like, man, you know, you can be good if you take this serious. Right. And he probably won more championships than anybody in the state of Prince George's County because he had Fairmont Heights. That's before segregation, you know. So he had all the top black players where couldn't nobody beat them.
Right.
And Fairmont Heights was, he's probably the winningest most championships in the state of Maryland. But for me, man, he became and I just took into the character from the OGs that raised me, now going to school and meeting a guy older that care. It was very valuable, man. And I tried to take all his jewels. They didn't, you know, the jewels didn't work though. But he would curse me out even after I left school and come back. And he would say some things to me, man, that it hurt my feelings, but I had to take it on the chin.
And I asked you about him because as I read the book, it felt like things came full circle. And I saw a lot of I saw a lot of him in you.
Yes.
And what really stuck with me was when he was trying to get you a scholarship.
Yes.
And to some degree, he was wheeling and dealing, trying to make a deal, you know, a package deal with you and somebody else. And I know that in the line of work of you trying to land kids' schools, you got to put package deals together and figure out, can we get a kid here if you pick up this other kid with them? The feeling that you felt when the Hampton thing fell through, which was honestly Mr. Freeman's fault, right? Have you ever felt that way on the other end when you're trying to work out a situation to get a kid to land somewhere and it doesn't work?
No, I believe because what ended up happening, as good as my reach became, when it came to certain battles of trying to get a kid somewhere because I got another kid, you know, I became a lot more powerful.
Gotcha.
So I didn't lose many of those battles. If I call a coach and say, hey, I got this kid, they're going to take him. But I learned that from him.
Sure.
That was something he taught me, and it was very, very valuable. But I didn't know anything about any of that stuff until he wanted to package deal me and my teammate.
Yeah, because I think heavy is the head that wears the crown, right? And you as Tony mentioned early on, you pioneered what AAU looks like today. And people often have things to say about you critically. But one thing I've heard from people is like behind the scenes, there's some people that probably didn't even deserve a scholarship that you got them into different schools. So I think you took a beating in some instances, but they don't even know some of the folks that benefited from you making phone calls when maybe they didn't even deserve the phone call.
Yeah, and like Tony said, you know, everybody, they don't know of all the kids that went to college who couldn't really play.
Right.
And got degrees and were able to go to school. Like everybody see the NBA guy. They don't see the kid who really couldn't play and you still made that call for him. I mean, as kids that played in other programs, I would make the call for, even when the kid didn't play for me. So, of course, people don't see all those things, but it happened, and it did happen.
Yeah, let me on that note. Maybe because it's just the book is just on the table and just Duplicity keeps just playing in my head, right? How did you look at all the good that you were doing, right? And where we come from too, even with the world called bad. I mean, sometimes and I, it ain't all. I mean, you always call it. I don't like this whole good bad thing, right? But you said for the sake of the conversation for the audience, right? With the people that may not come from the subculture we come from, right? And not marginalizing the bad, but I'm just saying. But what all of those things, the unseen good, the putting food in people's refrigerator, the helping not just the kid that play for you, but their siblings, the moving people, and when they were in situations where it was violence, all the things that you did that the world would acknowledge as good. When you made poor choices, let's say it that way, was that a barter system thing for you? Well, like, what was playing in your mind? Like, was it a situation where you just like, man, I'm doing this because I'm trying to do this, or you know what I mean? Like, how did you weigh that on your scale of like, and especially when you said you made a comment, you said you stopped, but like when you start up again, are you struggling internally? Like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm doing all this good shit. Like, I'm putting this at risk. Like, what was going on in your head at that point?
Well, again, from the good and the bad, first of all, I could never be in my own mind to say or think I didn't do good things. I know all the things I did, and, like I said, when I went down, again, Sonny Vaccaro used to say this. They did an article on me in 2002, and I was on the front page of the Post. He said, Curtis, what difference does it make? They talked about Jesus Christ. Yeah. They gonna talk about you, man. So, you ain't getting around that. He asked me, he said, how does the picture look? Is it a good picture? You
right.
Right?
He
said, because that's a national paper. Yeah. He said, it ain't a bad picture, son. He said, well, damn it, Curtis, don't worry about that shit. So, but it wasn't, the toughest part of anything that went through my mind was how bad is it going to be? You know what I mean? But it wasn't that much of a struggle. I was just ready to deal with what I had to deal with. Bring it head on, whatever it is, 20, 30, whatever come my way.
Sure.
Because I know what I ain't gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So
that's right.
I didn't have a lot of those questioning myself. And, I kicked myself in the butt because, again, I'm saying, what the fuck was I thinking about? Right. I know I ain't really have to. But it's so easy and plentiful. Yeah. It's hard. Yeah. For anybody. Yeah. Like, it's hard.
Yeah, and then, I think one of the things, folks, when you somebody that people make judgment calls, right, a lot on folks, right? But, like, until you've been somebody that people depend on. Everybody, if you're a friend of somebody, family member, people get calls, like, when others are in need. But there's some of us that the world call on you, man.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You know, and only select few people really know how that really feel.
Yeah.
And when you have been a person that delivers.
Yeah.
That it ain't a one. So now that means before they call anybody else, guess who they call?
That's right. That's right.
And
still going on.
Yeah, and it's like you can find yourself trying to always be that person, man.
For that person.
You know, and that could have you just trying to figure shit out without really thinking things all the way through.
Yes.
Because you're just trying to help people. You know, if I just do this, man, you know what I mean?
Yep. You're right.
And I because the book does an amazing job of like telling your story. I just want people to not, you know, not that you give it, not that you care, but I just think in any of it, first of all, we all human beings, but the most important thing is like, bro, don't make everything that somebody did nefarious or like as if, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's so easy for people to try to take away from,
what I said to a friend of mine, I was trying to describe the book to a friend, and I said, if I were his judge, you know, normally when somebody gets, when the verdict comes in, there's a couple of weeks, if not a couple of months between sentencing, right? If I were his judge and I had read this book after the verdict but before the sentencing, this would have greatly impacted how I sentenced him. Because the way you wrote the story, there's so many conclusions you come to toward the end that it resonates with me that you understood your responsibility in it, but you also painted the picture of this was my life. I was only doing what people did for me, and they did it for me with good intention, and that was what your intentions were, right?
Yeah.
But you just found yourself in a situation where there was a cycle you couldn't break for a period.
Yeah, we commend your transparency and your personal accountability as well. Like I really think it is something to be acknowledged, you know, because not everybody take like, I fucked up, and you know what I mean. I think that's why people are able to still have this level of respect for you, you know what I mean. But I wanna talk about, like, because again we talked about your leadership, clear leadership skill, how you've led men and youth, right? But we look to have conversations that people can pull from that are in leadership roles. What advice do you give to, and I mean particularly so many men and women that have transitioned out of street culture and now are doing positive things? What advice would you have for them on how to consistently keep staying on the straight and narrow? Because I think sometimes people can get comfortable once they do it for a while. What advice would you have for them? How do they keep staying focused on staying on the right track?
Well, I really believe you have to stay true and understand what you went through. Sometimes people forget. Sometimes the time not enough. Sometimes getting high not enough. Sometimes not almost having a, dying. Sometimes people, it's just not enough. But when you do start doing the right thing, you have to make choices and decisions, man. You have to make sure you're picking the right company. You know, right now, I go get in a car. I might ask somebody, do you got a gun on you? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Back in the day, I know you got one on you. I know it's two in here. Right. You know what I'm saying? But that's the norm. Yeah. But, I mean, I would just stay focused and stay true to you. Yeah. And keep focused and you got to watch your surrounding, your people, people you bring around you. Don't let people bring you down. Like you said about people reaching out. A lot of people call. I still get calls. Bro, can you send me money? Bro, jail call. I talked to a buddy the other day. Before we get off the phone, his conversation always, bro, how your bankroll look? Bro, stop asking me for money. If I got some money, I'll send you some. But I don't have money to just be sending you. I'm struggling too, Jack. These bills, dude. No question. You know what I mean? But I ain't gonna let that pressure come on me. Sure. Because the pressure is something now. Because you think you can be Superman easily. You know what I mean? But for me, stay true, man. I gotta stay true. And patience is everything, man. And I think going away for 7 years taught me a lot of patience, bro. I mean, it really made me better. Because it's been rough for 5 years now. Whew.
Yeah.
But I tell you, and I got a tough wife now. She don't play, so
That's right.
I don't want no black eye and a
Yeah,
divorce.
yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and one more question, side I want to just throw on that same trajectory. Coming from uptown, coming from Palmer Park, coming from the streets, and then finding yourself in the highest of heights, in the top collegiate names that legendary folks that know you and respect you, know you on a personal basis, right? Can you tell, because we deal with a lot of people, we trying to help them make certain transitions and feel comfortable in new spaces. Talk to us about that, man.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well,
like, what's it like going from the street to being in a room with Sonny Vaccaro, Roy Williams, Coach K?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, again, that's the upbringing of the OGs and the charisma and everything I always had. I know how to conduct myself. I had to learn a lot of things going around these heavy hitters. I never ate no sushi, I mean, going around these guys but you get to know them and they get to know you, so you get to spend time with them. And they normal people like us. Sure. They on the TV screen every hour, but if and another thing, if you got the players, they gonna cater to anything.
Yeah. Right. So,
I my buddies tell a story how one day, funny story, we left Jasper's probably at 2 a.m. We go to my father's house. Coach Huggins come to Palmer Park. He out on the porch.
Yeah. Cincinnati coach.
I've heard about that. I've heard about that.
We out there drinking till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
He like, I'm probably the only white man in 50 miles of this place.
Right.
He out in the hood.
Yeah.
But, but they also trust. It's a trust thing too.
Sure.
It was trust. Even like Coach K, he knew my background, but, I went down and when I got home, I think he still look at me and trust me because I helped put banners up in that arena down there, with two banners, but it's a trust thing, man. And I just, you get to know these guys because when they recruiting your kids, man, they gonna blow your phone up every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Guys tell him story. He was in the car with me one day. Pat Riley called him my phone and come up on the thing. But you build relationships with them, and they treat you like you normal people no matter what you've been through because, again, mostly everybody have someone in their family or somewhere near that done been through similar situations, man.
Sure.
Nobody's family's perfect.
Sure.
So for me, it was an easy adjustment, man, getting to know these guys and it was.
You talk at length in the book multiple times about, man, I was really trying to get to that sports agency point, right? You even referenced Rich Paul and those folks. And that was sort of like, if you had to point to an example, that would have been an example of what you wanted to do. What do you think was the key element missing from you getting to that point earlier?
I believe that, man, it sometimes depends on who you work with. Do they want to see you be successful? And that was one of the things. Some people want to just keep you here and not let you spread your wings, right? But for me, if I would have knew what I knew later on, all the money I had made, I would have invested it strictly into that. But I'm thinking, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm signing guys. I'm getting in there. I'm getting my feet wet in the game. My partner, Mike Brown, he was in the agent business. So I'm saying to myself, I can do the same thing, So it was just a time, man, where I regret not investing in myself. I invested in everybody else, but I should have invested in myself. But I believe, the Rich Pauls of the world, guys weren't doing that then. We had a guy from here, Nate Pete.
Yeah.
Nate had Steve.
Yeah.
And Nate did that, he ended up getting out the business later on. But, I mean, what he built was really, I should have been did that, But
Shout out to franchise too. Yeah. I think about that, man. Damn. I mean, but I think it's something sometimes about being first too. Like if you don't have somebody moving, like the generation now we mentioned Rich Paul, you know what I'm saying, what they doing. When that Nate P, we have I'm just saying, but y'all didn't have.
But when you have,
you know what I mean? Did y'all have somebody else to model what you were trying to do after?
But when you have Steve Francis,
right,
who's loyal to you,
yeah.
See, there was nobody could break the bond of Steve and Nate. So LeBron built a relationship with Rich Paul. Rich Paul got the best player in the country. So anybody LeBron call, they gonna answer the phone and be like, "Oh, I'm going with Rich Paul." That's just how it worked. If Nate would have stayed at it, things would have continued. But for me, DJ was my first pro, and he ended up having an accident, which he was never the same player. Sure. But I believe that DJ would have allowed me to represent and be his guy, when the time came, because I think the kid believed in me and he loved me, again. So, and then I tried it again when I had Beasley.
Right.
But that fell all apart a little bit, so.
And I think you look at Beasley, you look at DJ, and DJ is in our age range, so we remember seeing the Washington Post every Tuesday and Saturday mornings. You see the box scores. It is not easy for anybody to be able to manage a talent that was so crazy in terms of the amount of talent he had, right? A lot of people would love to coach and manage him, but everybody can't handle that. So talk about that period, because I remember hearing he wasn't even going to finish high school. He was going to go to the NBA out of the 11th grade.
Yeah. Well, again, everything go back to trust.
Yeah.
Right? The kid, once I got him, he's seen a different life, a different world, and he's seen the vision that I had. His mom, they love me. And the kid believed in everything Curtis said. The kid believed, I'm going to be a pro. If I'm telling you, you want to be a pro? He's like, yeah. I said, okay, we're going to work and make you a pro. And he became number 6 pick in the draft. But it's really the trust, man. You got to gain the trust of the families and the kids to, first of all, remove yourself and let me do what I do.
Right.
The problem be a lot of times, these parents think they know everything too. I told a parent, probably about a year ago, show me somebody that 3 first rounders lived in their house.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, and they ain't just do it by themselves. Not that I threw the ball to them, but I put the right people in place to get them better to become a pro.
Hey, can you talk a bit about that also as it relates to sort of the level? Okay, the talent can be there. And this is not just about basketball, though. I think, to me, that's a microcosm of, where people got these levels that they want to get to. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do... But, can you talk about that separation, where you've seen guys that were, as talented, but didn't have the intangibles to make it to that pro level? What does that look like? What does that take to get a kid from just being talented or extremely talented to being able to get to that next level?
Well, it's a lot of skilled kids that, with me coming back and seeing how talented these kids are. But I mean, a lot of times it's the parents, it's the uncle that can fuck it up. The people who think they know, the person who, got the kid thinking, I can do this and do that. Not to say that everybody can. A lot of people can get a kid to that level, but they have so much training and different things now that you should be able to become a pretty good goddamn player. Because everybody, their uncle is a trainer here, is a trainer there. My son 5 go to a trainer, my nephew 6, and they start early now.
Yeah.
So it ain't no reason kids don't make it. But at the end of the day, everybody's not going to be a pro, no matter how we look at it. The end goal is go to college and get a free education.
Yeah.
That's the end goal.
Yeah.
And if basketball go further, that's even more valuable.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. You talked about having 3 first rounders that have lived in your house, right? Obviously, Nolan Smith is your adopted son. You raised DJ for a period of time, and then Mike Beasley came along and lived with you. They all, in their own individual ways, had trouble, right? Nolan was trying to fight to get in the league. There was a point where it wasn't really guaranteed that he would get there. DJ had the accident, and then obviously you and Beasley had the falling out. From a personal level, talk a bit about how the pain of seeing each of them go through those challenges impacted you.
Well, you know, the first thing with all 3 of them, it was me making them understand that none of this is easy. That's number one. This stuff don't just fall out the sky. Nolan is by far one of the greatest human beings you could ever meet. So for me, it wasn't as tough for Nolan because I knew with or without basketball, he's going to be successful, no matter what. And choosing Duke was even better. You know, that's a different place. Coach K take care of his former players. So life after basketball is going to be good for him. With DJ, the toughest part with him was like, it was just everybody had different things going on. DJ had his early issues with academics, but a great human being too. You know what I mean? It was just getting him a motor. You know, you got to play hard, getting him to understand all these things you got to do to make it. You know, the scouts looking at you. And there was people saying he may be the first to leave high school early. And he was before his time. If he played in today's game, he'd play 17 years because he could shoot. Right? So with Beasley just had little things going on in his world, you know, since, you know, growing up, you know, and for Beasley, the job was more, it was tough, you know, because he buying to it, but now you gotta make sure everybody else on the same page. So seeing those 3 was so different, you know. Mike was special, like he became a special player because he wasn't just a special player from jump. But he took off and went to the ceiling, right, to the roof. But he it was hard. We just was trying to just keep him together to understand what this can do for you. You know, this game you play, you can make you 200, 300 million. Now you can act crazy, right? You put you 80, 90 in the bank. Go ahead and cut up. You know what I mean? Do what you want to do. Just don't go to jail, right? But you got enough money that your life is set. There's no reason it's not set. But it was so different. So the house, Mike and Nolan was together. So they were just 3 totally different people. But the end goal was different. Some was harder than the others.
So just as a quick follow-up, though, right? Because I think Mike's troubles have been more public than DJ and Nolan, right? And obviously you write about it in the book, so it's not a secret. You and Mike are not on the same page right now. How tough is it for you to watch? Because he's had about maybe 2 situations where he's been on interviews. He's been super emotional about where he is.
Yeah.
How tough is it for you to watch that, knowing that maybe you just can't pick up the phone and talk to him about it?
It's hard because no matter what, I love the kid. That's number one. You know, I came to Mike's life at 13 and pretty much helped raise him. So for me, it wasn't a basketball relationship. It became a son type relationship. So it's hard when I watch some of this stuff. You know what I mean? I'd just be like, wow. You know, some things I just can't believe. But I'm just, and I pray all the time, man, that whatever he do, he stay on track. I think he probably trying to do some podcast stuff or something. And it's a blessing that Ice Cube and them has been in his life, man. And that's a really good thing because he can take the advantage of that. But it's hard for me. And with Nolan went through his ups and downs with college, It was, us fighting on him wanting to leave to go to the NBA early. But he was never academic, dean's list every year, never probably, ain't never got no trouble, no kind of way. One of the greatest kids ever. And with DJ, it was just, how long do he stay in school? I tell you this funny story about DJ is that he had failed his SAT test. And during that time, hey, we can get the test for you now. You know what I mean? So and he like, nah. He was like, no, I'm going to take it. Yeah. And it's only one time left for the SAT. So it's the last one. If he don't pass, he only can go to the league. So he took it himself and he passed. But he was determined. I'm saying to myself, I'm second guessing him. He probably looking like, there you go, thinking I'm dumb. But I'm like, bro, look, we can get the test. Don't worry about it. He was like, nah, I want to take my own test.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, that's all right.
It might cost a little bit, but test gonna get taken care of. You're gonna pass it real good too. And we'll make sure you don't jump too high. They're gonna red flag.
Right. Who they had going there?
Who took that?
Yeah. You talked a little bit about the last 5 years being home, right? And you've admitted that it's been tough, right? It is not as smooth as it was before, and obviously because you've turned your life around and that's no longer an option for you. When you got back home, you took a look at the basketball landscape. What were your thoughts when you got back?
It was different. In this area, when I came home and then I see all the kids and all the AAU teams, it's just, the area is so watered down, man. Like, you got 40 teams here, and so it was just different. Back then you might have two good teams out of the city. Now you got a good team, decent team, okay team, so the talent's not as good as it was.
It's your fault.
It's your fault. You started this shit,
man. When I left there, it was only really takeover and assault, because Keith and them had started takeover. Yeah. So, if they didn't get a kid, we got them, vice versa. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But the teams were good.
Right. But you made it look so good doing it, though. I think people wanted to mimic Curtis Malone, too, though.
Yeah, that's what I...
That's what you made it look good.
Yeah.
And
even some kids that, you got to think about the guys that played against your teams. Right? And now they are the coach. They the coaches now, but they were once the players that looked at you. Even guys that played for you.
Yeah.
Like, damn, I want to do that. Like, I want to be like him. Not just I want to coach, but I want to be like Curtis. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They don't know it's hard work.
Oh, yeah.
To get to that level, man.
Yeah.
It took a long time. And I think, for Keith Stevens, Keith was with Assault with me. And Keith took it to he really took the blueprint, and he's doing it at a high level.
Yeah, that's all. Shout out to him.
Sure. Keith, what he's done that was different from me, he got straight guys around his program. I had all the crooked motherfuckers around my program, right? But I had goons with me and everything, so we ready for the fight in the gym or whatever. So, right. I couldn't get away from the street. I had to keep it street. But I was professional. You know what I mean? At for the most part, but if I gotta ride with one of my kids or something, I'm going to do that.
But let me ask you this though, right? Because you talked about being surrounded by the goons, but what was different with Troy Weaver? What did he have that got him to ascend to that level?
Troy was never on into none of
Got you.
that.
Okay.
Troy was always a straight. They used to call him the bad cop. I'm the good cop because I let the kids get away with murder.
Right. Yeah,
but Troy is he's straight line now. He don't play.
Yeah.
But what was so good and how we worked so well together, me, him, and Mike Sumner and Damon. Troy was a very, very good basketball person. Like, his training was good. He trained all them guys, all them pros. Like, when guys came to town, Troy trained all of them. Like Sam Cassell. I mean, he got them prepared for the NBA draft. DJ. I mean, he's a basketball guy, so we knew he was going to shoot to the moon.
Got you.
Yeah. In this.
Right. So can you talk to us about this new iteration? What the future holds. Like, what do you plan? I know you Quinn working with you on this too, right?
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
Well, I went and helped the Washington Warriors last year, and the year before I helped Greg and them over at Museum. And going over and working with Durkee and Dre, it was good, but so many people are just like, when are you gonna? And I end up having a conversation with New Balance, Lamont Morgan, Gonzaga guy, who was just telling me about their grassroots. So they were like, man, bro, would you be interested in your own team? And I'm like, do I got to change the name? And they like, no. We want DC Assault back. So they have their own circuit, just like Nike, Adidas, and everybody. So we end up signing with them. We just officially started DC Assault back up. So most of the kids I have around the program are former players, which I like to bring my guys back. What I was building before I went away was I was doing what Duke and them did, a fraternity. I had a family tree, I had guys play for me, but I had a lot of coaches in college basketball. Troy in the NBA. A lot of those guys, James White now in the NBA. So what I was trying to build is after basketball, if you stop playing, you come back, and because you can coach till you 80, 90 years old almost. Because the ball gonna stop bouncing, no matter what. So I got bringing all the young guys back and allowing them to coach and get their feet wet because they want to be college coaches. So we'll put the same blueprint together. It's not as easy because an AAU guy, we don't have the control like we used to. NIL got the control.
Sure.
So the kid going to the highest bidder, if I tell a kid I like Syracuse because my coach there, if Syracuse can't match what Villanova give him, he going to Villanova. No matter who the coach is. So it got to be coaches that want to do it for the right. I just can't make the call like I used to and say, hey, hire. I need my man hired. So we getting it back going, man. And it's exciting. We getting a lot of good. We getting a lot of good. People is really engaging in it, man. And I'm really happy. Like Quinn, he's just as excited. And it's time for him to start thinking about what he gonna do in life. Because he, he's going. If he don't go back another year or two, he'd probably be done. But Coach K wanted him to get into college, so Coach K wanted Nolan to hire Quinn as an assistant.
Right, because Nolan just got
Tennessee State, right?
Tennessee State.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
DJ with him too, right?
DJ and Delonte.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So I know it's probably gonna be difficult for you to do, but maybe not. But give us the top 5, man. The starting 5 DC Assault, man.
They've been pressing you about this everywhere you go.
Yeah, I bet.
So let me, I kind of, the last interview I did, I kind of think I spoke too fast. And, so I do got some change. My top 5 would be Mark Karcher.
Come on, man. Hey, I'm gonna interrupt you real quick, big homie. Because I just got to go on the record to say this, man. Bro, out of all the basketball I watch, especially like when we was young and all that, the Gonzaga used to have something classic. Yeah. But anyway, fam, I wasn't hip to him or nothing. He went to the joint out Baltimore. Yeah. They get them people like 50, bro.
Yeah, he was
and I'll never forget that day. I was like, who the fuck? Like, who is this dude? Man, get people like 50, like unstoppable 52. Like, it wasn't even the game. Was like, he only think he played like the last, you know what I'm saying?
He was good.
He was tough,
He was
man.
good. Keith Bogans.
Bad man.
DeMar Johnson.
Yeah.
Of course.
Big Kevin Lyde.
The man Mark they went to Temple, right?
Yeah,
both of them
went to Temple.
Yeah.
And, for Jeff didn't wear play as long in our program as everybody else. But I mean, Jeff Green would be up there. He wore it, enough. But I would say Nolan.
Yeah.
Nolan and that Nolan and Quinn right there together. You know what I mean? And one of them will cry if I get a other.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you ask Quinn gonna say no.
Right.
Because, that's his big brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
Along those lines, right?
I mean, we had so many times. I mean,
I
tell people Bernard Robson.
Oh, yeah.
David Hawkins.
Dog.
That had
James
Trey Kelly,
White,
too, right?
Trey Kelly, Wally Judge, who was McDonald's, Romello Trimble.
Yeah.
Dog.
I mean, we were.
Think about that. Just listen to them names, bro.
We were.
Crazy.
We were, and the difference because some guys sent me some names of their top 5 in their program. I got some buddies out L.A. called the Pump Brothers. They had the Adidas contract with us, but they sent their names. He had like Gilbert Arenas, James Harden, but no matter who y'all had, when we went out west, we beat the shit out them because we tough.
Yeah.
See all that
Talk
family
about,
got money?
Yeah.
And look, I'm going to gym with gangsters now.
Yeah.
I'm going to gym with Al Miller and Dirk Payne now.
Yeah, man.
Sheik Pearson.
Them my guys right there,
Yeah.
Eric Branham.
Yeah.
Chase.
Shout out to E. Yeah.
Cliff
Brian
Hawkins.
Chase.
Cliff Hawkins out Virginia.
Yeah.
Made first team on Met in 10th grade. I'm talking about Val Brown.
Yeah.
Bro, come on, man.
I remember Dirk Payne, man. I was at Coolidge.
Yeah, I remember.
My 12th grade was his first year of Coolidge. And what's the movie with Shaq, Blue Chips?
Yeah.
Remember he was in that small gym breaking
Yeah.
That's how Dirk was first day of school, man. It was
bounce out this world.
It's different kind of guys you naming right there.
Like
they was different, though.
In that backcourt of Cados and Cubs.
They was different.
Watching them dudes. And
they was different.
Man.
They was different. But I mean, a lot of them guys, I mean, I had football players. I had Navarro Bowman.
Yeah.
So once he chose football, we still let him go travel on the team. And whoever the best player was, that's who he got.
Yeah, lock him up,
man. It was ugly. OJ Mayo and them, they don't know who he
I
is.
heard
They
about
like,
that.
man, who was this dude? Javarius Critter, them. We playing the Celtics. They had half court. Navarro, he looking like, man, who is you?
Yeah.
Navarro on this dude like a cheap suit, man. I'm talking about Joe can't move. But it's so many, man, to name. Greg Lomax.
Yeah.
Troyce Hainsworth.
Yeah.
I mean, the list go. Lil LaFonte Johnson from up Baltimore. He ended up going to UNLV. Jamal Brown went to, Lakeith Blanks. I mean, and I forget so many. Nate Britt went to North Carolina. Chris Jenkins went to Villanova, who hit the game-winning shot.
Gonzaga.
Yeah. Tyler Thornton. Eric Atkins went to Notre Dame. They played up in Baltimore. But, I mean, it was so many of them. But we created an atmosphere that was different from the average. So if you wore that jersey, you had to be willing to go through that wall right there, knock all this shit over. You got to be ready. It wasn't no other way.
Right.
That's how we played.
Yeah.
Earl Risby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tore a little bit.
Yeah, rest in peace, man.
Come on, man. Like, I'm going to Southeastern Projects to get these dudes. I'm picking them up. I'm going all the way out Woodbridge, Virginia. Me and the coaches. Everybody got a day. They driving to Woodbridge, picking up Cliff Hawkins now. You got to go get Bogans today. It was an atmosphere though.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Man, we appreciate you coming by, man.
Appreciate y'all.
And this book, y'all really mean it, man. Duplicity, it's a book that y'all really need to pick up. I'm glad that you told the story, and in the beginning of the book, you talked about the fact that most people in your shoes don't get a chance to tell the story.
Yeah.
And you told it, I think, not just for you, but on behalf of other people who also lived that life and made those decisions, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you for putting that story out there, and I think people should check it out.
Yeah. And one of the things I want to say about that book, because, again, I know you're a reader, and for you to give high praise and give it, you love the book, means a lot. And it goes to show, again, dudes from jail could write, because that's who wrote. I wrote my story, but they wrote the book for me. So, guys in there just as sharp as people out here. So I appreciate. I met some great guys who written a couple of books, and they put this together, man. Everybody's, everybody giving me good reviews about it.
Beautiful.
Good.
Yep.
Well, thank y'all once again for watching Heart of the City. This conversation was incredible, like always. Thank you again to Curtis Malone for being here with us. And until next time.
Yeah, peace and love, man.
Peace and love.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.